was about to reply to a comment, but I can't find it now. Pretend right here it says, I thought you were moving to Europe. I don't know where that comment went. I'm going to talk a little more in detail about why my plans changed. But first, as a public service announcement, I've always had a decent amount of like impostor accounts, fake accounts, pretending to be me. And on these apps, there's not a whole lot I can do. I can block them or report them, but they just keep coming back. I just want to bring it up because a decent number of you guys fall for it. I don't really know what the goal is when they private message you. I don't know. I'm guessing they're eventually trying to get money. But it's not me, you guys. If it's not one of my obviously real accounts, which are here in TikTok and Facebook and YouTube, one account. A lot of you fall for it. I had a person come up to me after a show, and she walked up to me. She's like, oh my God, it's so great to finally meet you in person. You know, when we were talking a couple weeks ago about this and that, and I was like, what are you talking about? And then I realized, oh, she's been chatting with one of these fake accounts. Don't do it. Okay. So yeah, my plans dramatically changed. Last year, I did 2 little tours through. The first one was just through the UK. And then I came back at the very end of last year, and I did shows in Helsinki and Berlin and Paris, and it was totally amazing. But I had this moment one morning in my hotel in Manchester, England, and I was sitting there and the sun was coming through the window and I was having a cup of coffee and I felt really peaceful. And this thought just went through my head of, whenever I write a book someday, wouldn't it be cool to find a place here or somewhere, like a foreign land, and write my book? I feel like that'd do something really good for my brain. I have had an agent that's been trying to find the right publisher for me for a long time. And then after I got back at the end of last year, shortly after that, we found a publisher, and it's happening for real. I'm writing a book right now. And so I was like, oh God, I think I'm going to go for it. I think I'm really going to try and make it happen and go do this somewhere in Europe. And before I continue, I know sometimes to hear a person talk like this, it might be off-putting in some way. Like, oh, you're going to Europe to write your book? Oh, it's like pure privilege, right? I get it. It is. I'm real fortunate. And I can't believe it myself sometimes, the things that have happened in my life in the last couple of years. It's been a lifelong, pure, struggling, poverty experience. So I take nothing for granted. So I hope when I'm talking about like, oh, should I go to Paris? Or, I can't believe it myself. Yeah. So just a little disclaimer there. Because I did for a second think, wait, should I go to Paris? Because I had a show there, and that place is the most beautiful city I've ever seen in my life. I remember on my hotel, there was a rooftop like bar, with a view of the city. It said that on the website. And so one of the first things I did was took the elevator to the roof, and when I stepped out on that roof, I couldn't believe what it looked like. It was so beautiful. And so when I was like, wait, what if I tried to go to Paris? What if I wrote my book in Paris? Oh my God. So I just started exploring, and it started to become apparent that the UK was going to be the easiest place for me to get a visa. And a couple of you have said, hey, if you're just going to bounce around different cities, you don't need a visa. I know there's a lot of backstory here, but anyway, I decided to pursue this visa in England. And then the short, not interesting story is I got denied. And I came up with this plan months ago. Now that it's because I was supposed to leave, actually, I was supposed to leave yesterday. But I canceled that flight and changed my plans. After the visa got denied, it made me take a second and go, is this what I really want to do? I mean, this is a really romantic plan I came up with several months ago, but now that it's time, I traveled so much last year. It was amazing, but now that I am done touring for a minute, I was like, another trip does not sound amazing. What sounds amazing is just staying in one quiet, simple place for a while and writing this book like that, in an easy, quiet, simple place. So, no adventure. I'm done with adventure for a minute. And if I'm being honest, there was another piece, because just the way the timing of it worked out was I would be gone during November. And the couple of months, after the thing that happens in November. And that's not why I was imagining moving or anything. It was just that's how the timing was. And there was a part of me that was like, should I make some plans to, I don't know. Which was part of what I was seeking the visa for, if I'm being honest. And that was several months ago, and a lot has changed in the world. And, I still don't know what's going to happen. But things seem different. I have more hope than I did several months ago. I don't know. Who knows what's about to happen? But for better, or hopefully even better, I'm staying here. And I'll still visit the UK. If you guys were looking forward to me coming, I'm still going to do shows and little tours every other year or so. But I think my home is Cincinnati, Ohio. Well, it definitely is, because I've signed papers. So as soon as I get the place in Cincinnati, I'm going to give you guys a tour. I'll show you my place and what I'm doing with it. I'm excited. That's what happened. That's the story. Thanks for listening.